pilots, so it was probably one of their personal ones. You get into kind of mundane things. There was an episode where they were in the recreation room, and they had, well, you always see the three-dimensional chess set. There's even a three-dimensional checker set that you see periodically, and a three-dimensional let's see, chess, checkers, and a 3D tic-tac-toe set, and those were pretty much used off the shelf. And another silly thing that they used off the shelf, and you see this sitting in one episode, is the amazing futuristic recreational device sitting on the rec table in the rec room in front of Kirk and Spock, and I think Yeoman Rand is in the scene. And it was made by Milton Bradley in 1955, and there's a marble inside, and there's a hole in one side, and there's a hole on the other side, and the idea is you put the marble in and try to let it wend its way all the way through until it comes out the other side, and that constitutes the amazing recreational toy of the again, they had a monster on board that would suck the salt out of you, the man trap, and so they needed a scene where the monster monster can disguise himself as a normal looking person. So, but he kind of gives himself away by really craving the salt shakers that he sees on Yeoman Rand's tray. So they had to come up with a salt shaker that, one, looks futuristic. It's a salt shaker of the 23rd century. But yet, if it looks too bizarre, no one watching the show will recognize it as a salt shaker. So it's this funny dichotomy that they face. That's the futuristic, but has to be recognizable. And this is the set that they came up with, and kind of an hourglass shape. This is era. You do all these searches on Google and eBay to find these things. So this is a set of exciting salt and pepper shakers, and it's flavored. You try to do a show that has all the wrong mundane stuff in the background. It just doesn't look like Star Trek because you didn't get the details right. How are you coming on that marble? Still working on it? This is a little funny boxy thing that they carried around with them in probably about 30 episodes, and they are in so many episodes, and yet you would never even notice it. It's so nondescript. They usually, carry it around like this under their arm or something. Unless you like pause the individual frames on the DVDs nowadays, you might think it's a tricorder, because certainly they carry tricorders around all the time. Black plastic. But if you freeze frame, you'll see. Wait. There's a red edge to that thing, and there are a couple episodes where you get a really good view of this boxy thing with the red edge, with the yellow buttons and the 2 dials and the orange thing. And did you get it? Mission. You did it. You want to keep working on it? You can drop it in and try to get it out the other side again. You're getting to be an expert. This particular thing was a Westinghouse radio that you would. It actually was a combined radio with a long antenna, and at the end of the telescope. And at the end of the telescope was a lamp. So it was kind of a funky design that combined both a lamp with the antenna. And they took off the clunky antenna thing with the lamp on it. They actually used that in another episode, which I can tell you about in a minute. And that left this little box, which they put red on the side because it's this button would turn on and off the light. This button was on and off for the light. This button was on and off for the radio. This would be volume for the radio, and this was tuning the dial. There's a little window over here that you were tuning it to, 54 AM, 540 AM, 620. So it was just an AM radio with a lamp. So if you go on eBay, hunt for Westinghouse radio lamp combination and find one of these things, and it's like priceless, because Star Trek fans are, oh my God, you found one of the original Westinghouse radios. But again, point being, mundane, everyday stuff, painted up with Starfleet red to make it look futuristic, or what futuristic was supposed to look like in 1966. Yeah, when they're carrying it around, and they don't really say what it is. The one time that it had any kind of description and actually got used was in Mudd's Women, where Harry Mudd has his 3 women with him, and he's at they convene a little trial thing in the briefing room to decide what they're going to do with this guy. Are they going to throw him in the clink? Are they going to take him back to Starfleet? Are they going to let him go? What are they going to do? And as they all enter the briefing room, sit down, Mr. Mudd, sit down, pretty Mudd's women, and they all sit down. And Kirk says something like, okay, now we will start the hearing, and this is in front of Scotty, and Scotty reaches over and presses the button and starts the recording the whole procedure. So it's if you look in the script for Mudd's Women, it says, Scotty activates court recorder device. So this is a court recorder device. At least the first time you saw it. After that, they are carrying it around in sick bay, and McCoy has it down with him on a planet. He's like scanning plants and stuff with his medical scanner thing, and he has this with him down on the planet. So he's clearly not a court recording device down on the planet with McCoy. So who knows what it actually was? But the first time it was a court recording device. What else? We talked about how even the most mundane things needed to look a little off the beaten track. The playing cards of the future are not rectangular; they are round. And this is the same set that, again, in Mudd's Women, in fact, you see Eve, one of the 3 of Mudd's Women, playing solitaire down on the planet, and she has a deck of round cards. It actually wasn't solitaire; she was playing a game called Double Jack. She corrected somebody who said, "Oh, you're playing solitaire," and she said, "No, I'm playing Double Jack." So this is the same deck. It's a kind of a Chinese-looking Oriental design on the back, and if you freeze frame pass those around if you want. If you freeze frame the episode, you can barely make out the pattern. This comes from they're actually playing cards from Japan. The Japanese play Jajako playing cards. I happen to have two sets. Like I said, so many of my props I actually have 2 sets of, in case one gets lost or damaged. So are those going around? Yeah. Not much to see. It's round playing cards. And then they first use them in Mudd's Women, but then they reuse them again in the recreation room, just like this goofy, rattly, noisy thing. You see them playing round playing cards, and that's the deck you always see. Stuff first before I get into the stuff they had to custom make. Another off-the-shelf that they used at court-martial proceedings, and we were talking about it just before we kind of got officially started here. Have you seen episodes with this court-martial bell? Yeah. Any guesses as to how many episodes we saw close? Calls the court to order, and everybody knows the court-martial bell. They've used it 1,000 times on Star Trek. Well, they used it 4 times. They used it in what was the first one? Kirk's court-martial, where he was accused of killing Benjamin Finney. That's the very first time we saw it. That's when they got the prop, in fact. The script says that the courtroom has a very naval quality to it, including the ancient